Moto2 leaves Japan and heads over to Indonesia for round 18 of the 2025 season. It's all action up front and with an exciting race ahead of us. It's 22 laps of action and it is gearing up right here, right now. Let's head down to the grid then and join the TNT team as we get ready for all of today's action.
Hello, thanks for your company. You're very welcome back. Other sports to tell you about on the rugby field in the Gallagher Prem yesterday. Saracens thrashed Bristol 50-17. Here are the pick of the tries from Max Malins. And it's been an action-packed weekend from the Gallagher Prem, and round 2 continues today with a huge showdown between Gloucester and Northampton. That's live from Kingsholm from 2:30 on TNT Sports and Discovery Plus, so don't miss that. Back here in Lombok, we turn our attention now to Moto2. We'll take a check on how the championship looks. It's led, of course, by Manu Gonzalez, with Diogo Moreira 34 points off that top spot. Then Aaron Canet, Barry Baltus, Danny Holgado moves up to 6th. Dennis Onchu rounds out the top 10, and back to 5th we'll find Jake Dixon, who's back on the podium last time out. It was great to see some highlights before he goes to World Superbikes.
Jake through on David Alonso. That's not an easy one to pull off.
Here's Dixon up into the podium spot. It's the 5th podium of the season for Jake Dixon.
Super good weekend for us. For the last 4 or 5 races now, we've actually been really, really fast. Knew that we had a great package underneath us. Going into Japan race, I knew I'd be strong. And yeah, from the first 3 practice, we was really, really strong. And then if I'm completely honest, if I'm going to criticise myself, I should have done better in qualifying because it would have put me in a better position in early laps to go with Holgado. But overall, pretty happy with the outcome. Another track we come to now in Indonesia. I'm super fast here, can't wait, and I want that win.
Worst kept secret in the paddock. You are going to be a World Superbike rider next season with Honda. Jake, why was the time right now to leave?
If I'm completely honest, I felt like I wasn't ever going to get the opportunity in MotoGP to move up. And obviously with me being on the older end of my 20s, I'm the same age as the others in MotoGP, like your likes of your Bagnaia, Binders and stuff like that, but they've already been there a few years, you know. So for me to go up now, I feel like there's people that are younger than me doing similar to what I'm doing. So for me, it was the right time to move. I feel like I'm young in the World Superbike paddock because if you look at the other riders around me, they're much older than me. So I'd like to think that I could have a really long career there in the next 7, 8 years to do great things, hopefully win some World Championships with Honda would be fantastic. And they come to me with a great proposal as well, you know, so I have a long-term contract with them. Their vision is great for the future and bringing new things. I can't obviously say too much. But honestly, the next couple of years is going to be exciting for Honda and the team, and HRC are really, really into it and putting all their emphasis into being back at the front and winning them races. And I'm grateful that they've employed me to go out and do that. I literally can say that I'll be riding it 26th, 27th of November. Obviously, I'm contracted till after the last race of the season with Mark VDS. And yeah, looking forward to going out and riding on the Superbike. I've not rode a Superbike since 2018. And honestly, like I said, the things that Honda are doing behind the scenes that no one sees is why I really went for this project. They believe in me, I believe in them, and I think it's a great combination to go out and be successful.
Is there anything you still want to kind of tick off being a Moto2 rider?
Win more races. Win more races, and obviously the dream has never died, and it never will die until the last race, and until it's mathematically not possible for me to win a championship, I'll never stop giving up. Yes, there's a bigger margin and bigger margin to claw back, but you never know. Things can happen on the overseas, wet races, tricky conditions, someone could crash, someone could do this, so there's so many things that can happen in the next 5 that anything's possible, and I'll never stop giving up.
You still are in with a shout at the title. 34 points now between the top 5, and you are in 5th position. So with that in mind, how do you approach this now? Is it kind of throwing everything at it the last 5 rounds?
Yeah, look, I throw everything at it every single race. I think we're in a really good position now with the package that we have underneath us. The Mark VDS boys and girls have given us a great package, and if I'm completely honest, I'm not going to change too much. I'm going to go out and do my job that I know I can do. I want that win. It's been a long time coming since the beginning of the year. I'm hungry for it. And if I want any sort of hope of doing anything, I need to come out swinging this weekend and get that win on the board.
It is close, this championship, Michael, and mathematically still a chance. And Jake never says die, as he said in that interview there. He has looked really good around this circuit, but has to go from 8th. Qualification, once again, didn't go according to plan.
Yeah, certainly has good speed again here this weekend. He's still in the title race mathematically, and you've got to keep focusing on, if you get those victories and some misfortune befalls Moreira or Gonzalez, then it could well still be mathematically a possibility, but you've got to set your sights. Definitely the runner-up spot's still there with Moreira. It's going to be a battle. Cannott's on his way backwards. Baltus is still strong, but I think Jake's arguably the next fastest after Gonzalez at the moment. So, yeah, he's got to try and deliver here today.
Which is why, exactly, it's so important today, because we know that he can go well round here.
Yeah, loves his track. He's out of position on the grid, unfortunately, on the third row, isn't he? Yeah, 8th, that's right. Yeah, third row. I know we've said this before, but this track's difficult to overtake because of the narrow racing line, so he's got to get a good start, which normally he does. And Jake, he's aggressive anyway, naturally aggressive, so it's not something that he's to, let's say, force.
On a bigger scale, without this year, really, and how it's going to roll to the end, how do you assess his time here?
Good in so many ways, but slightly tinged with sadness that he never got the crack at MotoGP that we believed he deserved a few seasons ago. But yeah, he's acquitted himself so well, delivered a lot of victories. Fighting for a title in Moto2 is no mean feat. It's such a tough class, but I think he's had a stellar Grand Prix career, and hopefully it's not over at the end of this season. There might be a little route through, even if it's wild cards or anything in the future with Honda.
Well, fingers crossed, same. So Jake Dixon going from the 3rd row, Diogo Moreira's in pole position, David Alonso, who we were just looking at there, was on the front row, and Izan Guevara put his bike on the front row as well. Great qualifying from him.
Yeah, Guevara's made such a step, hasn't he? He'd been in the doldrums for the last few seasons. This year with that new team, that Pramac team, it's been difficult at times. So to see him actually on the front row is brilliant. There's been a couple of highlights. He was at the front of the field, if you remember, back in Silverstone. And then, but he's I'm going to say your typical Moto2 rider. We'll see him one weekend up there. The next round he's battling for 12th and probably riding hard. It's just the reality of how difficult Moto2 is.
Championship leader Manu Gonzalez going from 4th, Michael. He'd be looking to push forward, won't he?
Yeah, he won't be happy to be on the 2nd row of the grid. He was the man leading the way yesterday morning, the fastest guy on track, but Moreira delivered whenever it came to the pole shootout, and he's got threats from alongside him on the grid. Danny Holgado, likewise David Alonso stepping up yesterday. So I think Gonzalez will be focused on the race pace, but we heard from his team manager yesterday, he struggles in those little overtake zones where that's not his forte at the moment with the current setup. But yeah, he's always good at controlling the race, so he'd be looking to stand on the podium once again and just add a few points on the lead over Moreira if possible.
I wonder if these are nervous times for Manu Gonzalez. Let's find out now where he's talking to Rachel.
Manuel, obviously we know how good your weekend's been. On Friday, you were on lap record place. I'm sure you're a little bit disappointed, actually, to be on 4th. You said you changed something in qualifying. With that in mind, though, you still have race pace, don't you?
Yeah, the qualifying didn't finish the way we wanted. We tried a new strategy and it was not the best, but for the race, we are more than ready with the used tire. I'm always faster each lap, so we'll try to maintain the calm in the first laps because all the riders will try to fight, to push. The track is super hot, so the grip is really low. So yeah, we will try to make a good start as always, be in the first position, not like Motegi, and have an easier race, no? But yeah, we are ready for all the situations. We are ready for the fight and also try to go away. Let's see, we are ready for everything.
Get ready, good luck, thank you.
He looks very relaxed, doesn't he? But these can be pivotal moments at this point of the championship.
Absolutely, and what we've learnt this year, there has been moments where he's been the fastest man all weekend and sort of messed up the opening laps, and then things seem to have gone wrong for him. So yeah, I feel like this is the round. This is the one. It's going to go one way or the other. He's been the fastest man on. He has the fastest race pace by quite a chunk. He didn't put a new tyre in qualifying. That was a mistake from the crew chief who was telling me this morning. He said we took a gamble, that didn't work. But he said what we lost in qualifying, we gained in information. So they're confident with race pace. Can he deliver? Can he do it? We're going to find out.
Or can he do it? Diogo Moreira from pole position.
Yeah, once again, Diogo having a typical weekend. He didn't look like he had the pace on Friday, delivered on Saturday, and yeah, in the race trim, without a doubt, he's going to be ultra aggressive and try his best to keep Manny Gonzalez behind. So yeah, I think Diogo's in the driving seat from pole with a good start today.
What have you made of Barry's performance this weekend?
Look good. Yeah, solid. You know what Barry's like. He's on a good run of form. Slightly out of position on the third row of the grid. He'll be looking to go forward. He's faster than a Ramirez who's in front of him. He's actually faster than Isan Guevara who's on the front row. So yeah, Barry, weirdly, in these conditions, over long race distance, even though he's a bigger, heavier rider, seems to have tyre left at the end of the race. So yeah, he'll feel confident, but he'll need a good start.
Okay, let's hear from him now. He's talking to Rachel.
Barry, we know what you're battling for, obviously still in with a chance at the championships, 4th in the championship, 9th today on the grid. We know the conditions are hard. What's the plan from here?
Well, the plan is to go as fast as possible as always, but well, we have been sick all weekend. It's going a bit better today, so we'll see. The rhythm was not so bad yesterday, so we'll try to take profit of this and to go in the front.
Sense of humour not lost on you, good luck.
Thank you.
Yeah, we're at that point of the season and that place in the season where we often find a lot of illness. There's a lot of bugs, a lot of stomach bugs, a lot of upset tummies going on. Not really what you want in the heat when you're sitting in your leathers, Michael.
Certainly not. You do not want to have that in the back of your mind. Yeah, an upset stomach is quite a common occurrence when you come to, especially for Barry, it's his 3rd time on this this leg, the Asian leg. It takes a bit of figuring out, but yeah, unfortunately for him, he's caught some type of a bug and a bit under the weather, but hopefully he's hydrated and he's ready to go here.
It can be a combination of the travelling, the amount of travelling done, but also, you know, the water here. Our bodies can't take the local water. You have to make sure you clean your teeth and have, you know, shower and not get any local water in your mouth, really. And it's the same when you go to a restaurant. You try to not order salads and things like that, don't you?
Yeah, I'm definitely a salad dodger, as you know.
That's not what we call you.
But you're so right, Susie. It's so easy to pick up something. So let me tell you, it's going to be a long race for him. That's all. It's hot, humid, and yeah, he'll have to try and keep his focus.
Oh, fingers crossed he'll be okay for this one. We were just looking at shots there of Ayumu Sasaki, who goes from 13th. Ahead of him is Albert Arenas, who goes from 10th.
Albert, 10th today. This track has got so many different variations to it. Obviously, the conditions come into play. You're trying to keep cool here. What have you got for this one?
Yeah, today is a bit more warm than yesterday and this weekend, but we have been working hard, especially on consistency. Our fastest lap was not great. We're starting P10, but I think we've worked well in the pace. I feel strong, so I hope I can fight in the top 6.
Good luck. Thank you.
Thank you.
Well, good luck to Albert Arenas. Looking for a top 6 finish around it. I always think of Albert Arenas when we come here because he likes a bit of a party, does Albert. I seem to remember a few years ago being in a bar.
Yeah, he will be at that party later.
He will be at the surf party.
Bar.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely, yeah.
He wears a vest, doesn't he? He always wears that vest like Sylvan does when he's over here.
Well, they normally, all the Moto3 riders are there, aren't they? And Moto2 riders just in a pair of shorts.
Yeah, showing off the 6-pack.
Hey, who can blame them? Why not? If you look like that and you're young, don't be jealous, Neil.
I'm slightly jealous. The dad bod's just about taken over now.
How's this race going to go? What are we going to be looking at, do you think, in terms of the start and what kind of race will we get here?
I'm 99% confident that everyone knows Manu Gonzalez has the best race pace, which is not a bad thing. That means they will do everything they can to block him. He's not an aggressive rider, isn't Gonzalez? Naturally, it doesn't come natural. And then you look at the people around him. You know, I'm laughing because I'm looking at David Alonso, who's so instinctive and aggressive. Obviously, your pole position man, Moreira, is incredible. Guevara's got nothing to lose, so it's going to be tricky. Really interesting opening laps.
What about Jake Dixon? Because there have been times in the past where he's felt like perhaps he should have been a little bit more aggressive in the start.
Yeah, I think a lot of it with Jake, I always watch Jake starts, it's the initial jump, it's that initial release of the clutch. Sometimes he gets it right, he goes forward, sometimes the back wheelies and then all of a sudden you drop back. So as far as aggression goes, he'll be fine.
This is our second race of the day then of the Indonesian Grand Prix. Moto2 is about to take fire. Diogo Moreira is in pole position, and we'll hand to commentators Michael Laverty and Gavin Emmett.
Here we go then. It's time for the Moto2 Grand Prix of Indonesia. Round 18 of the season. Gonzalez a 34-point gap to Diogo Moreira. What are we going to see when the lights go out? Round 18 of the Moto2 World Championship brings us to Indonesia and the Mandalika Street Circuit. Here's the starting grid. Diego Moreira on pole from David Alonso and Izan Guevara. Then we get Manuel Gonzalez, Daniel Holgado alongside Marcos Ramirez. Colin Vire from Jake Dixon in 8th, and Barry Boltus lines up 9th. It's 10th for Albert Arenas with Ivan Altola in 11th, Antonio Albuino 12th, Amon Sasaki, Chestino Vietti and Zonta van der Gerberg lines up from Alex S. Gray, Daniel Munoz and Philip Salek, Adrian Huyetas, Joe Roberts and Aaron Canet. Then 22nd takes us to Senna Igas, Darren Binder, Alonso Lopez, Mario Argi, Yuki Kuni and Unai Uradai, along with Jorge Navarro in 28th position. Away we go on the formation lap then, around this fantastic circuit. Let's check in with Michael and Gav.
Michael, we've just seen chaos in Moto3. How do you see the script in Moto2 now?
Less chaotic, but as unpredictable. I think we've got a strong front row of the grid, a strong second row, and then challenges from Dixon and Baltus on the third row. So I think we're going to see a controlled approach from the championship leader, Manu. He has the pace and he's got the ability to control his tyres. So maybe less dive bombing and attacking than we've seen in Moto3, but likewise a solid race. I think it's going to be a good one.
Myself and Neil came in with his crew chief Fausto this morning, and he was saying, yeah, probably not quite the right planning in qualifying, but what it did offer him was more time and consistent pace, and that's what he's got. But what did he find out in Japan? That even if you have that pace, yes, he had a long lap penalty to take there, but even if you have that, it's not always as straightforward as coming through to the front once you're in the pack.
It's difficult to, if you don't have the braking prowess, which Manu lacks a little. We've seen with his overtake attempt on Vietti and Motegi, it was a late lunge and he took the handlebar out, caused a long lap penalty. But yeah, you have to be able to make those overtakes, and yeah, having the pace is one thing, but in Moto2, after 3 laps, if you're 4 seconds down, that's the target, is pulling back 2/10 each lap to get the 4-second gap down. It can be won or lost in the opening laps here in this Moto2 category, so important for Manu to get a good start from the second row of the grid and just make sure he's in contact after the first few laps.
Track temperatures are over 60 degrees, air temperature 30, but it feels hotter, I promise you out there. It is oppressive, and 22 laps is a long race. In terms of the tyres, Michael, they've all gone with that development soft, haven't they?
Yeah, it seems like the soft is the order of the day, the development soft rear and the soft front tyre for the entire grid today in Moto2, so no tyre gambles being played out, and yeah, the soft option rear, that development tyre, it's just got a slightly different construction and it lasts really well.
All set then, ready for the Moto2 Grand Prix of Indonesia. Moreira, Alonso and Guevara on the front row, down towards turn 1. The drone will fly away. What a fantastic shot that is, getting super duper close, but the green flag has been flying. The drone has got to escape out of shot as we get ready for turn 1. Lights activate now. Red lights are on. Lights out, we're underway. Good start from Diego Moreira, but better from Izan Guevara, who cut down towards turn number 1 from 3rd to 1st before the braking zone. Fantastic start. Moreira down into 2nd position. Hologano moves up into 3rd position. We've got 3 wide in the middle of the pack. That's going to be a bit wide, and everyone just avoiding it. And that's Munoz. Daniel Munoz has jumped down to 25th position. Whoa, nearly an accident there in the mid-pack as Adrian Huyetas nearly drops in. Everyone getting through cleanly at the moment as Gonzalez will have to redo part of the timing tower because it glitched as it usually would. But a brilliant start for everybody so far. They've all got through cleanly here on the opening lap. Guevara leads, Moreira from then Hologalo, Alonso, Gonzalez, Ortolo, Reynas, Dixon in 8th position, Ramirez, and Vietti has the top 10. Down to the braking zone we go. Here comes on the inside from David Alonso. He's on a battle with Manuel Gonzalez. Gonzalez trying to hold on the outside line. Ortolo's in the mix there as well. Alonso holds on 4th position. Gonzalez down to 5th. Ortolo and Dixon still battling hard further back. And now Gonzalez slips back to on the inside of Alonso to try and hold the positions back into contention. Lap 1 then coming to a close here for the Grand Prix, and thankfully that seems to be a very exciting run here so far. What a lap time we are witnessing here at Mandalika. Yellow flag sector 4. And hang on, that's Ramirez, Albarino. We've got several riders, I think, down. Yeah, we're going to crash in the mid-pack. 3 down at the back. Yellow flag has come out. Munoz down, that is the 24 out of it. So that is Marcos Ramirez, Alice Escray down there, Yuki Cooney, I think, coming through. There's the confirmation. So Ramirez, Albarino's out. Tony Albarino's crashed as well. So 3 retirements already on the lap 1 of the race. On to the second lap now. Yellow flag still out. Let's take a look. So pit lane, someone's coming down the pit lane because we can hear the gantry light flashing. Oh, everyone's sitting up and getting a bit caught up there. Let's check it with
Similarly
Michael.
behind will near me, Alex Escritch. That was
that's a little naughty.
A little late. Got it completely wrong and wiped out Ramirez. Yeah.
Good start, good first lap, good weekend. This is impressive from Holgado down into turn 10.
Yeah, change of the lead as well. Moreira got through on Guevara. So now Moreira leads once more, as he did off the line. Here we go again with Gonzalez, a change of direction, but Guevara not giving an inch.
He's leaning on him around the outside of turn 12, and he does hold off Manu Gonzalez in that attack.
That's brilliant. Fair play to
here's a replay, top corner.
Guevara for that move. That was the top left of the picture. Moreira got through. That was a good one.
Yeah, you don't often see the pass between turn 6 and 7, but good turning from Diogo. Maybe a little mistake on entry from Izan Guevara. Yeah, it's a good pass.
Talking about good turning, it is clear that Gonzalez's bike is turning beautifully, as he's shown it twice now in turn 12.
Yeah, he can. That's his strength. Obviously, the bike does finish the turn really well on the throttle, and it's a perfect opportunity for him to make ground, make those overtakes.
The likes of Dixon and Vietti, well, Vietti's made up places off the start, but Dixon's back to 9th behind Vietti. It's that story, if you do get involved in something at the start of the race, that can cost you.
Yeah.
It can be your race run.
It didn't look like Jake's tyres hooked up right from the off. Ortola immediately went away from Jake in the flip-flops on lap 1. And yeah, then Arenas got him. He's fired back there with Vietti. So these are the hard first 2 laps, and you're already, where's Jake? 2.9 seconds down on the leader. It's too much time to give away at this point in the race.
It is when Moreira is starting to pull a little lead over Holgado. Here's Manuel Gonzalez, surely got to run it wide there.
Yeah.
And Guevara will happily accept that to go back into 3rd place. It puts Gonzalez into a little bit of pressure here from Alonso, who we know is aggressive. And we also know will get stronger as the race goes on.
Senna Igas has been given a long lap penalty, though, for a reason we've got to work out soon.
To try a turn 10 pass, but it actually cost him a little bit more time overall. So, yeah, perhaps going back to his strong point might be the best route through.
Long lap penalty for Senna Aegis, Michael. I'm wondering if that was that turn 1 that we saw at the start. I don't know, but he's got a long lap penalty, maybe for a shortcut.
Yeah, possibly for Senna. He's had a tough weekend here, and in Japan he's dropped off a little bit of form.
There we are, Aegis for causing contact.
Interesting. That may well have been the turn 1 incident.
Yeah. I mean, in turn 1 they usually give a bit of leeway. We were talking about this yesterday about lap 1 and turn 1 and lap 1. There's usually a little bit of leeway because you've got so many riders wanting the same piece of asphalt. Anyway, it's what's been given. We haven't seen any incident yet, so we can't really comment. At the front, Moreira leads. Holgado, again, I've been so impressed by him in recent weeks. There's that little gap then behind Arenas, back to Vietti and Dixon.
still holding strong at the
Seen
moment.
this from Holgado again throughout the weekend. Good race pace. He's so strong.
Colin
In the
Vine
one-lap
dropped 7
time attack,
places.
he was only second row yesterday, but he just looked like he had a rhythm that would match that of Manu Gonzalez. We didn't see any real rhythm from Diogo Moreira until it comes time to race. He always finds that ability to convert his qualifying performance and pace. Comfortable at the front.
Down through the order, Sasaki's in 10th place. Behind him, Aaron Cannett's made his way up to 11th. Cannett started way down in 21st, but it's good luck from the rider who won here a year ago. He's in a battle with Joe Roberts and Barry Baltus. I keep watching the positions change on our timing screens.
And that's a bit of a turnaround for Cannett. It has been completely off the boil this weekend. As you mentioned, a winner here last year. It was a track he was so strong at, but yeah, this weekend it has been a struggle. There he is, going through the picture.
18 laps to go then of the race so far. Diego Moreira leads, Holgado second, Guevara goes into 3rd position. Then we get Gonzalez 4th, Alonso 5th. So the race quieting down after a very dramatic start on the launch phase, and that's what we like to see. Moto2 giving us a bit of a oomph at the start of the day. Is 100% needed, and I would always say yes to having some of that action zones. But so far, Cannett still in a little bit of a battle. It's a smooth start to the day, this one. I'm liking where it's going. As Diego Moreira 2/10 ahead now of Holgado. But this race is going to take a while. Here's the start again then, Michael.
But you've seen now, haven't you, Holgado, Alonso, even Guevara coming towards the 4. It's almost like a changing of the guard.
Yeah, you got to say the rookies have been ultra impressive. This all board with Cannett. He's had to work there on the run to turn 1 at Osena.
Oh, that was the contact.
Yeah, on the back of Zondervan, the Gerberg seat. Lucky to avoid contact with Aaron Cannett on his outside.
It's one of those, wasn't it, where he's gone down a dead end, Senna Aegis, and pulled out of it. But Cannett, what I was looking there was Alonso Lopez, who came barreling through on his inside as well.
Yellow flags out, sector 4.
Cannett was bad.
Oh, big one there! Huge accident, wow! High side, middle of the field. David Alonso. Huge accident. He's conscious, which is great news. Exit turn 16. The bike high-siding from underneath him. That would have winded him. That was a nasty accident. We're seeing a lot of high sides this weekend in motorcycle racing. Let's take a look at it once more. So exit the corner. The rear steps out from underneath him and just throws him up, like throws him off the back of a horse. Oh, such height. Oh, and lands on his head. Oh, what 2-3 big hits on the head. Visor open. And understandably, he's being helped away. As meantime, battle at the front. For 3rd position, Guevara battling with Manuel Gonzalez. And Guevara's dropped down now. Gonzalez retakes 3rd position. I'm glad to see that David is walking away from that one, but that was a nasty, nasty high side. Flipped upwards as on the inside, Gonzalez takes 3rd position away, slips back through with a nice move. So even then, there's a little bit of a battle, a little bit of a slipstream to climb back into this action. Diego Moreira, Daniel Holgado, Ivan Guevara, Manuel, and yellow flag set to 4, and Vietti's dropping again, but I never want to say it. Oh, it is Vietti. Justina Vietti, and now Daniel Holgado is dropping down the timer screen. Have we had 2 off? Yeah, hang on, that is Holgado. That's Daniel Holgado, he's crashed down too. At the last corner, Vietti's out, and now Holgado's crashed down, and now Gonzalez is now moving up into 3rd position and closing in on Moreira. Well, listen to the crowd. Well, this is going nuts out here today. Vietti's managed to restart the race. Holgado, I think, is out of it. Yeah, Holgado is out of the Indonesian Grand Prix. It's all going nuts this morning. Trying to work out where it's actually coming to. Yeah, Vietti's has rejoined the race. Still out of it. So Moreira now has a 7/10 advantage. The battle for 2nd is brewing between Guevara and Gonzalez as they're in a direct battle. Dixon's got ahead of Barry Bolters. Ancanet's on fire, says Sean, SHT, hello. Drama begins. Gonzalez moving up, and he's past Guevara for second position. Just a little bit of a touch. Gonzalez now takes P2. Ancanet is up into sixth position. He's up 15 places from where he started. That's Joe Roberts up 10 places. Darren Binder up 11. Alonso Lopez up 10. Credit where credit. Navarro up 9. Credit where credit is due. They are cracking these races apart so far today. There's Hologado, just dropped it, coming through the exit of the last corner. So that was an unfortunate end for him. And Vietti's dropping on entry into turn 16. Drama already then, as Canet now moves up into 5th position, up 16 places now as he comes over the line. This race is just energetic already.
By a crashing bike in front of him. Makes you sit up. On board now with Manuel Gonzalez. Can Isan Guevara find a way through? Maybe at turn 10, Michael.
Yeah, we're going to see what lap time Gonzalez has in his locker, because he's going to have to work hard to get a little bit of a gap, but just a comfortable margin over Gonzalez. Oh, sorry, over Guevara, because at the moment he's getting attacked all the time. That's a good run through there. You can see the onboard where he's just stretching it out through the fast turns.
Oh. I mean, that's the difference there, isn't it? In that sector. That's like Bezzecchi on the Aprilia against anyone else. And then Guevara on the brakes tries to close it up. Albert Arenas up to 4th. How is Aaron Canet 5th?
Yeah, he's had a good race. Turned things around overnight, perhaps. But yeah, that's a big shift from where he's been all weekend. Lapping fast as well.
Otola 6th. And then Dixon 7th. Baltas 8th. Sasaki 9th. Joe Roberts rounding out your top 10. Tony Arbolino's been told to drop a position. He's right at the back of the field after an early crash. He overtook under a yellow flag. So he's had to go back behind Mario Aggi as Aaron Canet's going to turn it under Albert Arenas now.
His last lap around, he set an almost identical lap time to Diogo Moreira, which is much more like what we would expect from Aaron. It does beg the question, has there been an issue technically? Has he missed something in setup for a little while? But this is much more like the Aaron we've seen earlier in the season.
Albert Arenas got the run on him, but Canet on the brakes hangs on. This track is evolving. Got to remember that, don't we, Michael? All the way through the weekend. Conditions changing as more rubber gets laid down, perhaps. Just for Canet, finds that little bit more of an edge. Struggles when the grip isn't there, perhaps.
See Joe Roberts have a move on Sasaki at the back of shot. It looked like it did run a Yumi onto the, pretty much on the asphalt on the outside, but it was got through there cleanly.
We ride with Aaron Canet down to turn 10. From 21st on the grid, Jake Dixon looked very, very close to the rear of Ivan Ortola. At the front, Moreira and Gonzalez. The gap is steady, about a second. Daniel Gardo, well, it's been a fine run in recent weeks. And that's his first no score since Aragon.
Front's just let go. It is a fairly standard crash there on the left-hander, but yeah, we haven't seen many of them. He just maybe threw it onto the edge of the tyre without it fully feeling loaded and under him.
At the front, Moreira's responded, you know, to Manuel Gonzalez. Every time Gonzalez takes it, sector 2, sorry, he's making 2.10s. But Moreira makes it all back in the last sector.
Which is impressive. When you're at the front, normally you set the target.
Dixon looked wide there in turn 1. No invitation required for Barry Baltas to come through on him.
It's been a tough race here for Jim. Not quite showing the pace that we expected from him after the performance there at practice.
We've said that a couple of times, haven't we? In recent weeks, where it worked in Japan. He came through the order not to be here. Here is your race leader then, Diogo Moreira. I have hardly seen him this weekend on our screens.
Yeah, he has been quiet, quite absent in the practice sessions and down the order as well.
I'm sure he's been busy, but we're not in control, are we, of the footage that we get, and we just really haven't seen that much. And suddenly he's in pole position, and you're thinking, oh right, so he is here this weekend. He is in the mix.
This championship fight, when you see the live graphic, and it would be back under 30 points again if things finish how they are now. So it's important for Gonzalez to best Diogo. You don't want to let him get the bit between his teeth where he sees the points lead coming down. He's certainly on a charge at the moment.
Yeah, still not at half race distance yet. 10 laps down, still 12 to go as they come across the line, and the gap again having looked like it's getting closer. Moreira in that last sector just finds an extra couple of tenths, and across the line their times are almost identical. Meanwhile, Guevara is dropping back
at the moment, half distance.
He's got 3.6 seconds over Aaron Canet. Canet was 0.6 quicker than him on that previous lap.
At half distance, take a look at the lap chart, because it's absolutely nuts. You can see he's retired from the race and he's moved up and moved down and moved across, but Vietti's just goes from lap 8, well, lap 5 actually, and plummets, and he just stayed the same. Not many overtakes in the last few laps of this race though. They're all keeping it rather consistent, but it is halfway as we stand, and as it is Diego Moreira on course again, but his championship rival directly behind him of Manuel Gonzalez.
As in Japan.
Replay. This is
Class act. We always said he was destined for the top. Guevara, it hasn't worked for him. Oh, wow.
He dropped it, set on his elbow. Wow.
The front folding on his Blue Crew Pramac. That is the problem that he's having.
Yeah, obviously it was a good save, but the bounce, the oscillation that was happening through the front tyre, his instant reflex reaction there did somehow regain some traction, but some issues there for Izan to deal with at the moment.
Front tyres another consideration in the conditions here today. Again at the front, trading almost identical lap times. The gap's still 1.1. Isan Guevara, meanwhile, loses 0.3 that time round to Canet. Joe Roberts and Jake Dixon have swapped positions a couple of times on that previous lap.
Joe's having a good race. His way forward over the last few laps.
Yeah, Joe started down in 20th and scrapping with Jake for 8th.
Had a bit of an unfortunate run of late, Joe. Back looking like the Joe who dominated in the Czech Republic, just flicking it from left to right here. A bit of confidence in the front end of his machine.
He's got the run on Dixon down to turn 10 on this occasion. He does that one nicely. Just levelled him enough to not allow any way through for the Brit.
At the moment, yeah.
And the American with British parents comes through. The number 16, Joe Roberts, up to 8th. Dixon back into 9th.
Lap 12. Still nothing really happening in the front.
Roberts, of course, stays with that team next year. Dixon, meanwhile, heads to World Superbike with Honda. Interesting, obviously, Cambodia was in that team, had a couple of years, decided, do you know what, just like Jake, I feel like I'm going to be overlooked for MotoGP, I'm not going to do it. He went back to the US, did he, to Moto America, and he won the title last week.
Fact, another title arrived behind on points, and on the day, as Cam does, he's such a cool campaigner. He delivered when Bobby Fong made some errors, a few crashes, and he and Josh Heron, it was a good scrap for it.
And what's that now, he's 5th, 6th?
Yeah, could well be. I'm not sure actually how many titles he's got.
Obviously, all previously it had all been done with Yamahas, and now doing it with the BMW that he rides.
It's good for BMW, some success in National Series and the AMA, and obviously still fighting for the world title with Toprak Razgatlioglu and signed Miguel Oliveira to replace him this week, so they're still pushing very much forward with that M1000. And
they were half an hour away from winning the World Endurance Championship, weren't they? With Silvan, Marcus, Reiterberger.
Who's that down pit lane? Justina Vietti to be out of the race.
Justina Vietti comes back down pit lane after his crash, running in 24th.
Unfortunately,
right through penalty here.
It looks that way.
I don't know, because is he coming back out? Maybe he's checked something, but Vietti's definitely in the pit lane. Chick says, Paul Logano also today could have been a double podium for Aspar. Such a shame. It really is such a shame. Vietti, I think he's going to be retiring. I can't see why he'd come back out of the pit lane.
Yeah. 1.2 seconds the gap now. He was a couple of tenths quicker than Manu on that previous lap.
Yeah, Vietti is out.
Counting down with 9 to go.
I didn't see this coming. I really didn't. I thought with Diogo throughout the weekend, you mentioned the track evolution, and I do think perhaps that could be the case where Gonzalez, and you spoke to Fausto this morning, they felt like they had done the hard work and understood things better, but maybe the grip down after the Moto2 race, the hotter temperatures here today at 60 degrees of asphalt temperature. It's hot, it's slick, and Diogo's sideways through there. He just looks comfortable with it drifting.
And he loves it, doesn't it, like that? Diogo.
He is the natural off-road rider where he likes fantastic slide control on a flat track bike on a Supermoto machine, and translates it well to Moto2 and will do to MotoGP next season.
Yeah, gap under a second again. Went a little bit deep there, Moreira, didn't he, down towards turn 10? An inkling there, and when the gap's under a second for a moment.
Mapping 2 for Moreira.
Just give that encouragement to Manuel to keep plugging away at mapping 2 for Moreira. So just something perhaps to let him know how long's left in this race and where we're at.
Yeah, the Sector 2 part of the racetrack is
Baltus.
such a good spot. This is a good move for Baltus down the inside of Ivan Ortola. It looked like it was from way back, but on the onboard sometimes there's the differences of bike position. It's hard to really correlate.
8 to go.
Like that was from, you know, he sent that one in on a surfboard from the beach, didn't he? That was, yeah. Big old lunge, but he got through safely, Barry. And he's up to 6th place now. Ortola drops to 7th, Roberts 8th, Dixon just not found the pace in this race. He's 9th, and actually Valla's going to come through on him soon enough. On board with Barry Baltus here.
Joe Roberts 33.6 last time around. That's within a tenth of the leaders. He's certainly having a good race, and the pictures I've seen of him when he was overtaking Jake, I just thought that looks like a confident Joe Roberts again, the way he's throwing about his Calex chassis. He's making inroads on these guys. He should be on Ortola, Baltus and Arenas before too long.
It's a weird weekend, isn't it? All round, across the board in all categories.
And MotoGP's been so unpredictable. Moto3 was a bit chaotic in the race.
Wild.
Yeah, Moto2, we weren't quite sure who was going to be the driving force in this race. Expected it to be Gonzalez, and it turns out it is Diogo Moreira. But although the second sector, every lap, it was almost 3 tenths in favour of Manu Gonzalez on this lap. He's so good through the direction change.
But in the first and last sectors, it's Moreira, isn't it? He took a couple of tenths out of Gonzalez in sector 1.
Yeah, differences in strength of setup, but also rider and how you approach the final sector for Moreira. He's got no gauge up in front, whereas Gonzalez has. But Diogo's the faster of that part of the racetrack, so it really is the turning and steering prowess of the intact GP machine with Gonzalez on board in sector 2.
Gap across the line, the closest it's been for a while, just over a second between Moreira and Gonzalez. We are looking at the battle for 5th place here between Albert Arenas and Barry Baltus. Can't see it, but Moreira and Gonzalez still not decided who's going to take victory in this race. Isan Guevara, the gap back to Canet is closing every single lap, another 4 tenths on that previous lap. That's another one we just need to keep an eye on. We're watching it on our timing screens, and hopefully soon enough we'll get to see it on the actual screen. We're with Barry Baltus at the moment, a couple of tenths behind Arenas in front.
Oh, timings have gone off. We've lost timings.
Another case of Barry getting stronger as the race goes on.
Yeah, Neil said about it before the race, you don't expect him to be strong in these conditions, and when you expect tyres to drop off, but that's where the Belgian rider seems to come into his own.
At the front, we need to watch it now, because the gap's down to 0.8 between Moreira and Gonzalez. It's under a second now. I feel like this is great to watch for 5th place, but I would like to see the leaders.
Barry going for a late overtake on Arenas, but like the one he pulled on Ortola. Very good at pulling it back to the apex.
So Baltus up to 5th now, right behind his teammate. Remember, Barry's still in his own battle with Canet, the third in the championship. I'll tell you what, Moreira there, Michael, in the last sector then has pulled out another couple of tenths on Gonzalez. And it's back out to 1.1. It was 0.799 through sector 2 on that last lap.
Certainly a bit of yo-yoing back and forth here. Different strengths on different parts of the racetrack. And for Diogo, he will get the signal from his team that the gap's coming down a little bit, so he may respond. 6 laps to go, though. Gonzalez is going to have to get a move on here.
Still pushing hard. Bolter's under pressure now, coming in from Arenas.
That is a fast sector of racetrack through there.
Yeah, beautiful ribbon of racetrack. Can you hear the Triumph 765 engine singing on direction change up to 5th gear on the run down towards turn 10.
Moreira has consolidated on this lap again. Held on actually in the second and third sectors where he's been losing on previous occasions. This is the 5th place battle still. There we have our race leader. Moreira across the line, a tenth quicker than Gonzalez. And when it just looked like Gonzalez was starting to put on a little bit of pressure, you have to say, Moreira responding, and he's been told how many laps to go. Basically saying, all bets off now, just go for it, just use whatever tyre you've got left. We haven't had confirmation about his future. 1.3 the gap through that first split now. He is going to LCR Honda. Few final details of his contract to be ironed out, but showing why Honda is getting an HRC deal, Michael.
Yeah, exactly that. He's shown such maturity this year. He's certainly made a big step in terms of his performance, his speed, his qualifying, his race condition.
Oh, and that's Vietti finally out.
Exceptional over the second half of this
out
season,
too.
but for those 2 off weekends in Germany and the Czech Republic.
Salak,
What's going on here?
brake failure. He's coming into the pits.
Salak feeling he's got an issue with his rear tyre or something not feeling correct to him.
Look down, didn't it? It was stuck in gear or something. Which was a strange one, wasn't it? That the chain was on and he's ridden back.
Quite a poor lap for Gonzalez at the wrong time in the race.
I think this is Gonzalez saying, do you know what? 20 points is better than no points. What do you reckon?
Yeah, it looked like he had a slight moment through turn 5, and obviously you're getting those warning signals and you're thinking, I can accept 20 points today. Yeah. It'll leave me with a 29-point margin still.
He was a second slower than Moreira on that last lap. Is he having some serious problems? Is it a front tyre problem? Or is it just a case of settling for second?
Yeah, possibly just settling for the runner-up position today. He will have the gap on his pit board, knowing that he's got a 4-second advantage over Izan Guevara, who's only got a 2-second advantage over Canet.
Oh, still Moreira letting it smoke through there. Peerless performance, this. Yeah. And as you say, we all had Gonzalez down as the favourite for this race. And yet, Moreira's saying, I'm in this championship. The gap is going to go back to under 30 points. And we've spoken about this time and again this weekend. Manuel Gonzalez feels like the favourite for the title. Probably should have a bigger gap in the championship. But there's only 29 points. One incident, one bout of rain in Phillip Island in a couple of weeks' time. One downpour in Sepang the week after that.
Yep.
Cold temperatures in Valencia at the end of the year, or Portimao in the wind. And if Moreira wins that, they are level pegging.
Yeah, it would be cruel, but it could happen. He's already lost a chance of 25 points in Austria with a technical, but something like that happens and it's completely game on again for the title race. Brings even Canet and Baltas back into it a little bit, but Diogo is the rider in the driving seat for sure. He's pushed the envelope over recent rounds and clawing back points in the critical moment of the season.
It would be Moreira's third win of the year. Remember, Gonzalez only has 4 to his name. He's not won since Mugello. Manuel, it would be Manuel's 10th podium. Diogo's 7th. 15 different riders have been on the podium this year. Make that 16 if Isan Guevara can come across the line in third today. Shows the spread, doesn't it, of talent in this class. Just 10 different winners.
Little twitch from the rear as Gonzalez exited turn 7, so perhaps he's not quite giving him the feeling that he likes at this moment.
Moreira's still at that pace that he's been running all race.
Yeah.
33.7 for him. It was a 34.5 for Gonzalez, who's properly rolled off it now. The gap's at over 3 seconds. 3 laps ago, the gap was under a second.
That was when Manu did give his final push, I feel. Realised he wasn't going to quite happen today with Diogo. This is such a run of lap times, always in the 33-second range. And the only other rider last time around was Barry Baltus, 33.9. Everyone else dropped back into the 33s, 34s and 35s.
Jake Dixon, not his morning. His afternoon, should I say, because it's 10 to 2 local time. But anyone watching back in the UK, just hasn't gone to plan. And he's top 10. But that's the best he can hope for now, I think. 9th or 10th place with Colin Fire having got through him on the previous lap. To the line, 2 to go. Moreira leads. Gonzalez 3.5 seconds behind him. Guevara third, 2.5 seconds over Canex. Really spread out this race. Barry Baltus then in 5th, then of Arenas, Roberts. They're all in a little group. Even Ortola, he's the 2nd of the Boscoscos. Top rookie though in this race, ahead of Colin Fire and Jake Dixon. And Huertas, Darren Binder into the points now, ahead of Senna Aegis, with Ayumi Sasaki and Alonso Lopez just rounding out the point scoring positions, with Zonta van der Gerberg behind him.
Good to see Binder back in the points after what has been a tough time for him in Moto2 of late. Strange one though, Alonso Lopez really at sea down there at 15th. Arbolino back to his positions outside the points.
Yeah, there was a crash I think early on for Arbolino. We didn't see it though, but remounted in, he's in 17th with Dalion Munoz. And Kuni Adji, not worked for him this weekend, and Jorge Navarro at the back of the field.
Huertas, Binder and Senna Aegis. Obviously Senna had the long lap penalty after his early race contact with Zonta van der Gerberg. Back to score some decent points here today.
There's the gap at the front, 4.2 seconds between Diogo Moreira, 2nd in the championship. The gap before this race between himself and 2nd place Manuel Gonzalez was...
Yeah, but that's going to be the difference, because that gap now down to 29 points in this one.
9 between them. If you can just bring it home now, just a couple of miles to go around this Mandalika circuit.
The street circuit, of course. It's been a quiet Moto2. Why has it gone off again? It keeps resetting itself, have you noticed? So all our systems keep going wrong. There we go. Still, it's been an interesting one. It's been a confusing day for Moto2. Not really been the 100% action we were expecting it to be. But let's see what happens next. There's Gonzalez in P2. Here is Diego Moreira, the leader of the race. Gap in the championship, as we said, it's going to change up now. Gonzalez will lead Moreira by 29. Not much, but not bad at all. MotoGP coming up in around about an hour's time. That's going to be something special. Last 2 corners then. Diego Moreira will win again in Moto2. He takes victory in the Mandalika Street Circuit. It's a wheelie across the line. Moreira wins. A dominant race for him in Indonesia. Manuel Gonzalez will come home 4.6 seconds behind to Isan Guevara in 3rd. What a remarkable race for Diego. That was epic because he controlled that to perfection. Everything he needed to do, every form of control. And the Ura farming boat kid waves the checkered flag. I'm too old. I don't understand what that is. I've seen it done. We know that Marc Marquez did it a couple of years ago, but I am too old. I don't know what that is or what the trend is. Diego Moreira's unzipped his leathers on the cool-down lap. Now, technically, you're not allowed to do that, so maybe there was a problem with it. He's coming in anyway. Moreira, Gonzalez, Guevara, 1, 2, 3, victory here in the Moto2 Grand Prix. Well, we'll be back with the TN team shortly then here as well. It's game on in the Moto2 Championship, says Sean. Absolutely right it is. There's a lot to look forward to. Look at the championship points. Gonzalez is on 258. Moreira 229. 29-point gap there. Canet now moves in 56. Even he's there. By Boltus to 65. Dixon's 80 back after finishing today in 10th position. Dropped 2 places. But Aaron Canet up 17 places from where he started. That is a remarkable effort from him. He finishes 4th. Barry Boltus 5th. Albert Arenas in 6th. Joe Roberts 7th, up 13 places. Ivan Ortola in 8th. Colin Vire in 9th. And Jake Dixon 10th. Adrian Haitas in 11th. Dan Binder in 12th, up 11 places. Credit where credit's due. Seraiga's up 9. And Sasaki 14th. Alonso Lopez picking up the last point. Up 9 places, that's impressive. Zonta van der Gerberg down to 16th. Tony Albrino in 17th. Daniel Munoz in 18th. Yuki Kuni in 19th. Mario Argi 20th. And Hoy Navarro 21st. Vietti retired in the pit lane. So did Salek, Orade, Escray. Out on the circuit crash was Holgado, Alonso and Ramirez from the field that finished. Not a bad Moto2 race. Next up it is MotoGP. We'll stay with the TNT team for all of the analysis post-race. But a very entertaining day. Diego Moreira wins the Indonesian Grand Prix. So in a second we'll have our TNT team call in. Let's take a look at the line chart for this race. Look at Vietti, actually. That was quite an interesting one. He did retire eventually on lap 18 of the race, but he's the most dramatic on the timing screen. Second that to that of Alice Escray being out of it. Entertaining indeed. Right, let's head back to TNT Sports and get the lowdown and the interviews from the drivers out there on the circuit.
Welcome back to Indonesia, where Diogo Moreira has just made it back to Parc Ferme to celebrate down there with his Italtrans team. Victory in the Indonesian Grand Prix in Moto2. 25 points to his account. Keeping this championship alive in the intermediate class. Manuel Gonzalez in second behind him. Ihsan Guevara, his first podium in a year, rounding out the podium positions in 3rd place. Diogo goes to weigh himself as Mario Aggi waves aloft the flag. No points for Mario today. Not quite able to rediscover his pre-injury form as yet. Not long been back, of course. Not to be for Manuel Gonzalez today, Michael. Took a little bit of time in those early laps, and we did talk about the to and fro between himself and Ihsan Guevara. Could have been the key.
Yeah, it would have allowed him a slightly different race without having to fight his way forward, but it was Moreira who just seemed too strong for Gonzalez on this occasion. Looks like an absolutely knackered Aaron Canet.
Yeah, exhausted, isn't he?
He's worked hard in the hot conditions today to get forward. 21st of the grid through to 4th. He'd be proud of himself after that one.
That'll have been one of those races where you see the lap counter and half race distance, 11 to go, you're thinking, you what? Another 11 of them, no thanks. Yeah. Alex De Angelis down there, Gino Borsoi with Ihsan Guevara. First podium with the team. He stays on there next year, doesn't he?
Yeah, no confirmation, but he does stay there, and a new rider incoming as Arbolino goes out and over to Fantic Racing. But yeah, there's a few names been bandied about for that seat alongside Guevara.
Of course, Roberto Brivio, brother of, starting the party down there. That is the way that team works, I'll tell you that much. He'll have expected it. He just, we say he's quiet during practice, and that's just getting on with his work. We just haven't seen much of him, have we, on our screens?
No, that's why we don't expect it, but perhaps he's confident in the background, working on his race rhythm, and he's expected it all along. But yeah, that was such a solid race.
Let's have a listen then to our former Moto3 World Champion, Isan Guevara, on the box for the first time with the Blue-Coup Pramac Yamaha squad.
Ethan, what a fantastic ride onto the podium for only the second time in your Moto2 career, but it also nearly ended at turn 15. Just how close was it? A brilliant save to get onto the podium.
Yeah, crazy race, crazy hot condition here. I'm so happy for me, for the team. I work every day for a rip here. I'm so happy and I enjoy too much the race. And in the last sector, I closed my front and good save, but incredible result, incredible weekend, and enjoy this moment with the crew.
Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
Such hard work out in this heat. 30 degrees plus temperatures. Trust us when we say it feels like 40, and when you have moments like that and you have to push your bike up, and just physical exhaustion, physical toll this circuit takes on you.
Yeah, you can see the young lad was drained there, working hard. They'll enjoy that. A brand new team, first podium for them.
Yeah, that's a good return, isn't it, from a hot weekend of hard yakka. Right, championship leader still Manuel Gonzalez. What's he make of second today?
Manu, a fantastic ride to get onto the podium. Was the championship in your thinking with 5 laps to go, because you were pushing, and then it seemed like you decided, okay, second is a great result today?
Yeah, the start was not bad, but I lost 1 position, and then I had to battle a lot, and I lost the feeling with the front tire, and then I was struggling on the race, and I say, okay, I don't arrive to Diogo, so I stay in second position and take the points. Yeah, we lost 5 points, but it's okay for the championship. Maintaining the pace, I'm pretty happy.
Great ride, well done.
Thank you.
I mean, got a lovely set of teeth, hasn't he, Manuel? They didn't quite look gritted.
I was just about to say the same.
That was one of those. Yeah, great. I loved it. That was all right. I took what I could today. You know, front wasn't feeling right. I don't think he was happy.
No, you never are when your closest rival puts in a performance like that, and you had nothing to answer with today. But yeah, solid championship-wise, 20 points on the board, but that was certainly gritted teeth. He was putting the positive spin on it.
Yeah, the sentiment's right, but you know, deep down, there'd have been hope for more. Especially when it's his title rival, the Brazilian Diogo Moreira, who takes victory for Brazil, his 3rd win of the year.
Diogo, you took your first victory here a few years ago. Now you've done it again. Another Mandalika masterclass to keep the championship alive. Just how important a victory is that?
Yeah, I'm really happy. I think we made all the weekend really good, so I'm proud of this. And yeah, this circuit I love, so this is easy, more easy to make the things, you know. So yeah, really happy. Now we need to continue like this, and yeah, now we need to enjoy.
Huge congratulations.
Thank you.
Yes, it was an excellent performance, wasn't it, by the Brazilian Diogo Moreira. The timing, probably perfect. Although you can say a solid 20 points for Manu Gonzalez. Also, a little bit shaky.
Yeah, I mean, it's not what we expected. We knew he had to get the start for Gonzalez. He had to go forward, which he eventually did. When he got in second, I thought I could hear the Jaws music, but it never happened. And that's why when Gavin said it's so funny, he was annoyed after that, because you know everything's going to go into plan. You get into second, you think, right, now I go, and he had nothing for Moreira. And Moreira, just cool as a cucumber, beautiful flowing lines, just immaculate, no mistakes, and I tell you what, we've got a championship on our hands here, haven't we?
Well, we have. I was going to say that. We've got 4 to go. We've got some, you know, some Brazilians behind, some Diogo fans. I think family and friends are here. 4 to go. He could win all of those. I mean, it's on, isn't it?
It's wide open. Like I said, I felt like this was going to be a pivotal weekend. Is it going to go one way or the other? and you feel like the momentum's now, it's just moving in Diogo Moreira's favour. Obviously, he's still got that cushion in the championship, but it's coming down every week, so he'll be starting to feel the pressure. You know what happens then? You start to ride tight, and then it becomes even more difficult.
Yeah, what did you make of that race itself? Because it seemed tactical.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's the issue you've got someone like Moreira who can be consistent when he got to the front. He didn't push early on, even though he was at the front. I kept my eye on his lap times. It was almost like he waited for Gonzalez to get into second, and then he went, this is what I can really do. And he broke Gonzalez's spirit. Really good to see.
And how much motivation will that give him for the rest of the season?
Oh, well, you know what it's like. This sport's all about confidence and having that momentum. With a weekend off now, then we go to the beautiful Phillip Island, which is, I mean, it always delivers, doesn't it? It's Phillip Island, but it's a track you need to go to with confidence. So I'm sure Manu's... Diogo's shoulders will be well and truly back.
And in terms of his style and the way that he races, Phillip Island will be good for him.
It will be. Do you know, it suits both riders because you need corner speed at Phillip Island. You know, fast flowing nature of that beautiful track. So I think it's hard to say if it'd favour one more than the other, but it's the man who's got the momentum is the man who has the advantage.
Well, we've talked about those two now. Izan Guevara on the podium today. Great to see him back up there, isn't it?
Finally, the ex-Moto2 world champion rode a great race, and we saw how hard he was pushing when he nearly crashed. So I'm so pleased to see him back because he's a nice kid, and obviously he's super talented. So yeah, really, really good to see.
And you can get to the point, can't you, where you feel like you're never going to get there, even though you've had a lot of success in the past in this Moto2 class.
Exactly, that's the reality of Moto2. It's so difficult. So hey, he has seen the light. There'll be plenty more podiums for him.
We're shining on him, but once again, in the very near future, let's go and celebrate this podium with Gav.
Yeah, they're just about to step up onto the box here. Just talking about momentum, 5 out of the last 6 races, Moreira has made up points on Gonzalez. Just Barcelona, where there was a swing the other way when Gonzalez was 4th and Moreira was 14th. But in all of the other 5 races in the last 6, Moreira has closed the gap to Gonzalez. It now stands at 29. Remember, that was when Canet was the one who was supposed to be putting the pressure on, but his form dropped, although good to see Canet take his best result since Assen. Stepping up onto the podium then, Izan Guevara into 3rd place. First of the year for him, first in a year since Malaysia last year. Manuel Gonzalez there in 2nd, looks destroyed, doesn't he? I think physically, but also frustrated, cutting a frustrated figure up there. Expected it to be him on the top step. So, the Italtrans team celebrate victory for the 3rd time this year. They are no strangers to winning this championship. Think back to 2020, Enea Bastianini running out as the champion. Izan Guevara then. Mum down there, Lucia from the squad, Gino Borsoi celebrates his first trophy of the year. It means a lot to him. It's been so close, no cigar until today. Manuel Gonzalez racks up his 10th podium of the year, but the gap shrinks again, down to 29 points between himself and Diogo Moreira. Still 100 points to play for in this championship. And next up it's Australia. That will be a race. That will be one to look forward to, and one that Diogo Moreira will travel to with a big beaming smile on his face. I'm not sure about the kazoo celebrations, but nonetheless, Diogo Moreira will enjoy at least a better rendition of the lovely Brazilian national anthem.
Celebrations will now begin as it's champagne time. Diego Moreira wins here the Moto2 Grand Prix of Indonesia. We'll be back in around about 35 minutes for all the action for MotoGP Live on JB Motorsports. But it's Diego Moreira who wins the Moto2 Indonesian Grand Prix.